Happy Hour. That's the Good Things. I'm your host, Rebecca Turner. Now, don't forget, you can listen to Good Things. We are streaming live over at supertalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But if you want to watch us, you can do that on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV, which I encourage you to do because our guest today is 3-time Grammy award-winning and legendary blues artist, Mr. Bobby Rush himself is in the house, and he's headed down to Ground Zero Blues Club tomorrow night in Biloxi to play a little performance. So welcome, Bobby.
Thank you. Good to be here and always glad to be around, you know.
Good to have you here. I have to say, the first time I saw you perform was at Howlin' Mouse with my daddy and my mom and my husband. After one of the blues marathons, you played the after party, and I want to say, I don't know if I had my oldest yet, so that had to be 13, 14, maybe even 15 years ago.
At least 15.
At least 15 years ago.
Years ago.
And brought the house down.
I did too many lights. I couldn't see it. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you remember that because I remember the date, but I didn't get a chance to meet you at the time. And,
well, there was a lot of folks there to see you, Mr. Bobby Rush, and over your, 7 decades in the business.
7 decades.
You've shook a lot of hands and met a lot of people.
I kissed a lot of babies.
You've kissed a lot of babies.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first performance, like, as a musician?
Yeah. I think around the first time, because I was only 15 years old, I had painted some mustache on me so I could look like I was 18 and went in the club and tried to fool the owner that I was 18 and wasn't but 15. And at a club called Jittybug, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'll never forget that. Myself, B.B. King, and Elmo James.
What was it like being on stage and sharing at that time a new talent with the world?
I didn't know what I was looking for. I was just a young kid. I wanted to be hollered at. What I mean be hollered at, I want the young girl to say, "Hey, Bobby Rush." You know, I got a few of those, so I was satisfied with that because there wasn't no money deal. I was getting paid $2.50.
And you kept coming. That's when you know it's passion.
That's what's with passion.
That got better over the years, right?
The money got a little better, and the girls holler a little louder. Yeah, at the time went by. But, you know, I laugh about that because it's not a joke. It's just a blessing to be around this long doing what I'm doing. And I'm still learning the business. You know, I'm still enthused about what I'm doing. It's a great day for me.
So you started at 15. I love that you painted on your mustache to try to get in. Was there ever any other route for you, Bobby? Like growing up, was there, well, if this music or this entertainment gig doesn't work out, Bobby Rush is going to do what?
I didn't have anything I wanted to do. I probably, if I wasn't in the music, I'd probably be a carpenter. Because I'm pretty handy with my hands and concrete finishing, laying bricks and just building. I've probably been into building houses and what have you. That's probably what I'd be doing, you know.
Well, we're glad you took a different route.
I am too, because I hate to move, sweep, paint, do anything. I hate all that stuff. But anyway.
But I bet you would still be doing it at 90 or 91.
Yeah, 91.
91, if that's the route that you sort of, that you took. Now, you look at young artists today, Bobby, and they can get their start sitting comfortably on YouTubes or the TikToks, but you guys used to get out there and really grind it on the different circuits.
Oh, God, yeah. We had to grind on different circuits, you know, and so many things I did wrong, but so many things I did right. One thing I did wrong this morning when I come on the show with you, and I forgot about it was Valentine's Day already, and I want to tell all the ladies, happy holiday. And this day is your day because it's Valentine. Ladies, to all the ladies.
Well, you made some girl very happy today, me included. I think every girl should hear that as many times as possible on Valentine's Day, for sure. So when you got your start, you started with what I have heard is the chitlin circuit. What was that? What was that circuit that you went?
The chitlin circuit still exists. The chitlin circuit is nothing but juke joints, small club where you drink, eat, moonshine, and have a good time. You dance and listen to good music, the blues music, particularly at that time. And that's all we knew. I didn't know anything about being poor. I didn't have, because everybody had the same thing, which was a little or nothing. And we all was in the same ballpark, you know. I didn't know about what I didn't have because everybody around me didn't have. So I thought I thought I was rich.
Well, you were rich in the things that mattered, right?
Yeah.
And you were doing it out of the passion and the joy, which I think, sometimes is missed in artists today. You can see it, but you can still see that, man, every time you take the stage, you still are giving it 110%. Do you ever get the jitters anymore?
No, only time I get a little jitter about what I'm doing is how the people can receive me or accept me. And sometimes if I'm with a different band, I'm concerned about will the band relate to me musically and remember what they're supposed to do for me. I say that because God have blessed me to be around this long. I have 439 records.
Wow.
And I can stand here now and recite you at least 380 of them songs today. That's a lot to remember. So I'm so thankful that God gave me the sense to remember well.
Now, other than your 3 Grammys, the records are the songs that got you your Grammys, Bobby Rush, is there a song out of those 300, almost 400, that was a favorite or that you have, like, you just could go to, quicker in terms of the story behind it?
Well, I can tell a story about how a lot of things that I do because I do everything about story about my life. So it's easier for me to tell the story about the record because it's part of my life. But I think the record I like most, the one that sold most. Financially, it put bread on the table. But I got some song that may not hit the surface, but it rings a bell to me because it's a personal thing. Particular songs that are making a decision sometimes can be hard. Make a decision about when you make a decision for yourself, it's different when you got children involved. Making a decision about an old woman cry is different when your mama cry because kisses and can and hush don't cry don't make a grown woman smile. Mm-hmm. And those kind of things, Then I wrote a song said, we come a long way, but I have a long way to go. The things I used to do in the southern states, I won't do anymore. I used to carry water 15 miles for 50 cents a day. It's a shame a boy 9 years old had to work that way every day. I used to pick cotton in the cotton field where I used to live. I'm still picking cotton, but I own a piece of the field. I'm free, can't you see? Look at me. I got the shackles off my feet and the chains off my mind. Those kind of things. I make statements in my song that I sing, and sometimes it be joking and be laughable, but most of them is true. 400
odd songs or records you've put out. How
439.
many? 439. How many have you written in total that maybe didn't make it?
I must have 400 or 500 records that I haven't even recorded just in the back of my head. But out of these 439 records, I think I've written everything, probably about 6 of them.
Do you have like a method to your? I'm not a method to your inspiration, but when you write, do you sit down, or when it comes to you, Bobby Rush, do you pull something out and jot it down, or do you have like a wake up early, drink your coffee, and write your music?
No, it always comes when I'm driving most of the time, when I don't have paper, when I'm in the bathroom, have nothing to write on, so I write on the toilet tissue, and it's always come like inconvenience when I don't have anything to write on. I got to hurry up and get me a pen, and I write on anything that I find, anything. If I'm in the car, just a piece of paper, just regular, and in the next month or two, I put all that paper on the desk, lay it out, and pick verses from this, verses from that. I put my head down. I put everything that's in my head down on paper most of the time. That's the way I do. Everything I think about, I write it down.
Where were you when you got your inspiration for your first Grammy album, or for Best Traditional Blues Album for Porcupine Meat?
I got that idea from Porcupine Meat in 1965. I was talking about something to eat. And I was looking at a TV one day that was in some part of the country. I don't know what it was at the time, where some little children didn't have anything to eat. And I saw a lady on a film who had a child out in the desert. She had nothing to eat. She ate an afterbird. And I started thinking about, what would I do in a time like this if I'm out in the woods? The worst thing I could find in the wood that I didn't want to eat was a porcupine. And I relate that porcupine meat to a lady that was in my life that I know she didn't love me, but I love her. If she loved me, I love her more than she loved me. I need to leave, but I couldn't leave. It was like porcupine meat. Too fat to eat and too lean to throw away.
Well, we're not throwing away this conversation, Bobby Rush. We got more with him coming up next here on Good Things. .fm, also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But if you can, take a watch today over at SuperTalk TV on your computer, your mobile device. We're continuing our conversation with Grammy Award-winning and legendary blues artist, Mr. Bobby Rush. He's headed down to the Gulf Coast for a good concert tomorrow night, Saturday the 15th. What time?
And for a good time at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock there.
8 o'clock p.m.
At the Ground Zero Blues.
Ground Zero Blues
So this is
Club.
the second location of Ground
This
Zero.
is the second location. The first one was in Clarksdale. Now they have a new location. It ain't new now, but it's the newest location in Biloxi. And I believe it's 3 years. I did the grand opening for the year anniversary. I believe this is.
Are concerts just different for you, Bobby, in Mississippi with your hometown people? I mean, we're all one big neighborhood here in Mississippi, so.
I don't think it's not much different. I think it's the approach. It's the approach. You got to know that people from Mississippi, sometimes they take it for granted, like we something less than something else or somebody else. But Mississippi got it going on. Mississippi, if you think about blues guys from Mississippi, and I'm a blues man, I don't care if they're in New York, Los Angeles, or whatever state they are, north, east, west, whatever. When you run the roots back, most of the time they come back to Mississippi. That's where they're from. That's where the base is from. Yeah. Like a rabbit, you jump up here, but you run around the world, you trace them right back to Mississippi.
Per capita, we have more Grammy nominations than any other state, and I believe you have more Grammys than anybody else from Mississippi.
I hadn't even thought about it.
Mm-hmm. We also per capita have more in the NFL too. So there you go.
Oh God!
So we're either good at sports or we're great at singing and winning Grammys or getting nominated for Grammys.
We can sing it. We can sing and run and jump and play. You know.
Which, if anybody's seen you in action, Bobby Rush, that is exactly what it feels like to watch you perform. I love the energy that you bring.
Well, thank you.
And I wonder if some of the secret of your sauce is hanging out with all these young kids. And I know your next album with Kenny Wayne Shepherd, he's 45, so I'm in my 40s, so he's young to me too. I like thinking
young fashion way. What I meant about that was that I feel good, and I'm still learning, but I'm also still listening because I have ears, because the young people have something to bring to the table. Because what we have to do as older men and women, we have to teach young men and women what to do now and what we did so they can learn what to do better than what we did. They have to pass it on. Because I often talked about the blues, not just because I'm a blues singer, but the blues is the root of all music. It's the mother of all music. If you don't like the blues, you probably don't like your mama.
You know, that's kind of a good point. And many of your musicians in all genres, too, will say they got inspiration from blues artists. And you would be right along there with so many now, Bobby Rush. When you met Kenny Wayne Shepherd, I mean, there's 40 years plus between you two. What was the connection that said, hey, we're going to make an album together?
Wasn't no plan. I was looking for something or somebody from my home state, Louisiana. And I thought about Kenny Shepherd years before I did it. But I didn't thought in my mind that he would be into a Bobby Rush or the kind of music that I play. But one day he said to my manager, he said, I'd like to get Bobby Rush out for a couple of days. And that was up my alley because it wasn't about the work. It was about getting to know who he is and approach these songs I want to do with him. I didn't tell him about it. And I said to him one day, I said, Kenny Wayne, I got a thing I'd like to do. After I listened to went to rehearsal and went to the sound check, I said, God, this guy could be great. He sounded like a Mississippi boy here. And I said, I'd like to record something with you. He said, I would like to record something with you. I've been thinking about this for 5 or 6 years. Now he's been thinking about it. He didn't know how to approach me. Yeah. I'm thinking about knowing how to approach him. And so we talked about it. I said, well, for about 3 weeks. He said, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I said, I'm in Jackson, Mississippi. He said, let's cut something. I said, fine with me. He said, you want me to send you some tracks so you can listen to? I said, no. I didn't know how to, I'm watching his reaction. I said, no, don't send me anything. Let's just cut. So we went in the studio. We chose Memphis. That was halfway marked to each one of us. Go to Memphis and record. At Move Studios, Aurora Studio, the name of it. So he met me there. We had nothing in mind, but I did have, I said, I got 4 or 5 songs, but I lied about that. I had about 130. I come up with my guitar, and he sat down with his guitar. We was going to cut this album solo, just a hit, 2 and I. He and I, and my harmonica, acoustic kind of a thing. After we cut the first song, it went so well, we cut the next song, it went so well. So we booked another date in the studio, and we booked 3 days, and we cut 12 or 15 songs. And all 12 or 15 songs came out to be like #1. Then we started listening to it. Then we called in the Al Green rhythm section and did some musical licks and bass, some parts on it. And that's how I grew. Because we went in and just cut acoustic CD. That's what we were going to do, one-on-one with the harmonica. But the song came out so good. I just got to tell you this. Being a Mississippi boy, he's a country boy from Louisiana, my home state boy. I didn't know how he's going to take this song. I said, I got a song. He said, what is it? I didn't say anything. He said, what's the song you have for me? I said, called What Is That? Who Was That While Ago? And he looked, he said, oh, man, that's great. I never thought he would understand while ago. You know?
Yeah, he's a good country boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought he would understand. And when he said yes to that, I said, oh, God, I have something here.
When is it coming out for everybody?
28 more days.
You counting down?
Yes,
Will
right.
you be playing some of it tomorrow night?
Yes, I'll be doing a couple songs off of it, you know. Who was that? Who was that while ago? Because when I came in, somebody ran out of my back door, had his shoes in the pocket, overcoat in the hand. I want you to tell me, girl, who was that man? Who was that while ago?
You are not very far from your harmonica either. What came first? When did you pick up your first harmonica, Bobby?
When I was about 4 or 5 years old.
So the harmonica came first. Who taught you how to play it?
No, when I was a little boy, I had a little guitar. They call it diddley bow. We didn't call it diddley bow. We called it guitar. String up beside the wall, one string. Mm-hmm. And I had a brick at the top, bottle at the bottom. So one day the bottle popped out and the brick fell out and hit me in the head. So I was smart. So I reversed it to the brick at the bottom, then the bottle at the top. And it sounded like Elmo Jane. So I had me a thing going. So everybody trying to copy what I did. So the slide guitar was on the wall now, you know.
But the harmonica.
My daddy.
Yeah.
My daddy.
Would y'all sit and play together, or he teach you?
Yeah, I didn't know my daddy could play until one day he had a harmonica in his pocket all the time. He played a couple of notes. I thought he was the best because that's my daddy. Mm-hmm. But I hid this guitar in the loft that my first cousin gave me. I didn't want my daddy to know I had the guitar because my dad's a preacher and a pastor of a church. I thought my daddy wanted me to play in the church. I didn't want to play in the gospel. I wanted to play the boogie woogie. So I hid the guitar so he wouldn't ask me to play in the church, I thought. So one day he said, Junior, I'm named after my father. I said, yes, sir. He said, come here, boy. He said, bring that guitar here. And he brought his guitar and laid his harmonica up on the table. He said, let me play a song to you I used to sing to a little girl when I was a little older than you. Well, I thought it was going to be about my mama, either glory, glory, hallelujah, when I laid my burden down. But it wasn't either one of them. He said, me, my gal, went to Chankapin hunting. She fell down and I saw something. I said, Daddy, a preacher?
They're human too.
I said, now sing it again. Now what I wanted him to do is sing that next verse. Because I know the first verse, she fell down, he saw something. I figured the next verse he'd tell me what he saw. And my mother's in the kitchen cooking. She said, me don't sing that kind of song to that boy. He went to sing it again. He said, me, my dad went to take it behind. I said, Daddy, how big was you? He was 350-pound boy, about that wide. So what you had on? He said, nothing but a dress. And the wind was blowing. Now I get this picture that the lady fell down, fat lady, and the wind was blowing. I said, sing it again, Dad. He went to sing it again. My mother was coming up behind. He didn't see my mom. He said, me and my girl went to Changapin, hon. She fell down. And I kept running. And I didn't ever know the next verse. So I said, this is what I'm going to be the rest of my life. I'm going to be a blues singer. I'm going to talk dirty. I'm going to talk nasty. I'm going to talk about the fat lady. I'm going to talk about the skinny lady. So skinny, if they're turning sideways, you'll think they're gone. And I just...
Where do we get the album, Bobby?
Any outlet that you'll find any professional song on any outlet you go on, you're going to find this, because professionally, we are in business. Kenny Wayne Shepherd and myself. It won't be hard to find any YouTube, any way you find any music, any way you find an Elton John.
And tomorrow night, Ground Zero.
Ground Zero, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. You going to come back and see me, Bobby?
Yes, I will. I promise you.
Every Valentine's Day. Let's make it a date.
Okay, you have it.
All right.
Valentine's Day.
All right, it's our day. All right.
Okay, it's our day. Yeah.
All right.
Let your husband know that.
He's fishing.
Oh, yeah. He's fishing. Oh, he should get that song, Night Fishing. I have a song called Night Fishing for your husband.
That's
Just
perfect.
pick it up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
God